It was funny.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. My name is Mike.
I'm Jeff.
Welcome to the AMPED Golf Podcast, everybody. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
It's
Awesome.
a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's nice out,
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful day for golf. If we could have golfed, right?
Yes.
It was up there. Jeff, how's the soreness? How's the body hanging?
Man. If I could freebase Advil and get away with it, I would, I think.
Why
Sure.
are you so sore?
We tore down the storage shed behind my house, behind my garage this weekend. Mike, and I say we because Mike graciously agreed to come over, and Sarah and Mary were out there picking up all the scrub trash off the ground, which after you've been tearing down a building, that's got to be the hardest work. And so we were so appreciative of them doing that. And I got a dumpster, and everybody made fun of me for how big a dumpster I got, and that thing went away full, didn't it?
Yeah, that thing was stacked. It was nice. It was a lot of fun. Demolition's always fun. So you get to take a sledgehammer stuff and wrap a chain around things and pull crap down.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good time. So
great time.
Glad we could help. Glad we got it done for you. Looking forward to seeing what the new shed looks like and the new outdoor kitchen looks like. So
pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening to us on iHeartRadio or Spotify or anywhere else you're listening to the podcast. And if you're here on YouTube joining us, you get to look at these beautiful faces all the time. Please like and subscribe as well. We'd love to hear your comments too. So don't hold back. We can take it.
You can even say, get some beautiful faces so I can look at the beautiful faces. I mean, if you want to say that, you can say that.
Yeah. It is what it is. This is what we got. So it is what it is. But thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. 156 days till the Masters and 54 days till Christmas. And I believe that 54 days includes only 8 Fridays.
That's crazy.
Sounds right. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So are we doing the 30-pound weight for your mom again, Jeff?
It's tempting.
It is tempting. I'm willing to go in, so you just let me know what we can do. So some quick upkeep and news that I thought was pretty interesting, and it'll be pretty fast to talk about. The RNA came out a couple days ago and said they are not banning anyone from the Open Championship. They want to keep it an open, and they can't do that if they're banned. So they're not banning anybody. I'm shocked that they came out first, and I'm shocked that it came out before the first of the year. I really didn't think anything would happen until after the year was over and the new year started. So what do you guys think?
That's kind of surprising. I think maybe they were just kind of clearing the air, right? They were just saying, hey, look, get it out there. Nobody has to wait for it. It's out in the open. We're not going to say no. If you deserve an invitation, we will invite you, kind of thing. But they still get to pick who they invite. I mean, so there's that.
That's true. I don't know either. So like DJ and Cam Smith, obviously he's a past winner, but I believe you get exemptions into majors for winning other majors too.
You do.
And DJ's still kind of fresh off of the Masters win, so I think that does get him into the majors for like 5 years, I think is the exemption. I'm not sure. I know we've talked about it before, but I'm not sure what the actual exemption is.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely look that up and see who qualifies based off of their past performance. The other thing is Max Homa. Congratulations to Max's wife Lacey on the birth of their son Cam.
Cool.
I find it interesting that they named their son Cam. I wonder if it has any relation. Probably not, but it's still pretty cool. And it was really great having Eric from Swizzy Golf on last week. I'm still really stoked and excited to think about having that ability to walk into a simulator and hit, yes, I want to take a lesson. And you get a pro on the screen, and
pick a pro, and
he gets to watch your swing and check all the stats out and give you feedback. I love that. I think that's a game changer. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome considering that it seems like the simulators that we all use will support the software that he's using for this. So we could go get a lesson in Defiance potentially.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of the pieces of the puzzle there, right? You've already got launch monitor. You've got all the things that a pro needs to make some decisions on a swing. The thing is, there's not a camera on the golfer. as a natural part of the simulator. So does the app on the phone also tie in? And, I mean, so I'm sure they're working through that, but pretty exciting opportunity if they can make it all work.
Yeah. Not only can you log into Swizzy Golf and pick a pro that you want or instructor you want to work with and do it from the comfort of your own garage, driving range, wherever you are. This opens up a whole new area of possibility for everybody that's into golf, and especially in the off season when people like us, we can't play all year round. We play in simulators a lot during the winter. This could really be a game changer. So I'm excited to see what happens. So it's always great to have Eric on. He's a good guy, so I like him a lot. Next week we're going to have on a special guest. If you're not already using it, check out golfingbuddy.com. It's actually golfing-buddy.com. We're going to have their CEO, Kat, on next week, and she's a huge golfer, huge golf enthusiast. We'll drop more before next week happens to let people know what she's about, things like that. And she's going to come join us for the whole show. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So
sweet. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time. And before we really get started, I saw an article today about Chris Bosh, who is a former Miami Heat basketball player who stopped playing basketball in the 2015-16 season. He's about to receive his last of 120 biweekly payments of $434,393.
Biweekly?
Bi-monthly.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
So that's $52,127,160 he's earned after he stopped playing. So if you think LIV golfers are making too much money,
it's true. Well, I mean,
that's pretty good.
We could talk all day about the absurd contracts that baseball is a good example of that. I don't know a lot about baseball, but I know that. I mean, if you're playing, especially for a really top-rated team like the Yankees, you're going to make some serious money. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, I mean,
A-Rod.
Yeah.
Well, A-Rod, any of the top.
$500 million contract.
Aaron Judge nowadays is another big name. The minimum salary, I think, for major leagues is $580,000. Now, I think it went up this year. So
that's a lot of money. Yeah, not bad, and they're all guaranteed, right? Not like football. So football, you could sign the biggest contract in history and be cut a year later and not be paid anything after that. So unless you're a coach, coaches get paid out. So
really,
that's the way to go. Oh, yeah.
Depends on their contract. They usually structure them, but Frost in Nebraska is a great example. Had they fired him something like 3 days later, they just saved $7 million or something like that. They just had to get rid of him right now, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's roll right into the PGA and talk about the winner.
So fucking stupid.
From last week. So
I cannot wait until you just have a month after month after month of just shit.
Yeah, you just laying these big fat eggs. Yeah. Mike still stuck at $4 million in prize money for week number 12 in a row.
Yeah. And until that happens, I get to do this.
Wow.
Good pick.
So,
I mean,
good picks.
Good pick.
Yeah, Seamus wins, finishing at 19 under for his second title on the PGA Tour. He looked pretty good the last day, but there was a lot of up and down on that last day. He did sink a 25-foot birdie putt on the 14th to really get him in control of the final day. He needed a bogey to win at the end, and he did get that bogey. Yep. It was interesting. We were watching it at Jeff's house before dinner, and the 18th that has that big false front. So he chipped it up, and it rolled all the way back down. So he had to do, or was that 7? That might have been 17, and he had to do another chip. It was
because then he chipped, and it was like a 3-footer that he had left,
right.
And it broke so much, and he was real gentle with it, so and missed it.
I did get to watch some of this tournament, and it didn't disappoint with the wind and the weather and the rain and stuff like that. So that wind is just crazy. It was blowing harder than last time we played golf out there. And people would hit a what they thought was the right club and come up 50 yards short. So it was interesting to watch and see and to say, see, just like us, they are like us.
Well, the golf ball is the golf ball, right? I mean, physics is going to be what physics is going to be when there's wind and the golf ball involved. So
absolutely. So Aaron Badley, who got in as a Munder qualifier, was really in the mix all the way to the end. So that's pretty cool too. You know, you travel out there, you Monday qualify, you get in and you contend. I love to see that. I do. I really do.
Yeah, I didn't pick him, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That is great when they do that.
Tennessee freshman Caleb Surratt shot a 64 to make the cut. He followed that up with an 85 in the third round. Only to improve by 20 shots on Sunday, shooting a 65. So
all right,
a little bit up and down there, but it's like us without the 60s, right? In the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, I'd take either score.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool to watch. Again, it's end of season golf. Seamus Power is a top ranked player in the field. So I got a little lucky with the pick, but I did want to pick him early because I thought he had a good chance and he won. It's just like you guys all say, there's a lot of luck involved in this. And I got lucky twice so far this year. So
a blind pig's got to find an acorn once in a while, Mike.
That's right. A broken clock is right twice a day. So up next is the Worldwide Technology Championship at Mayakoba, Mexico on the El Camaleon course.
Sweet.
Designed by Greg Norman.
Nice. Nice.
There we go. I like it.
So, the PGA is playing on a course that was designed by Greg Norman. I love that. It's a really cool course, though, if you've had a chance to look it up. Lots of tropical jungle, mangroves, freshwater canals, oceanfront holes. It's one of those courses that is praised for its use and preservation of nature and how they take care of the course and things like that. So it's a really nice course. And they have different greens. I cannot remember the name of the greens, but these greens are designed to be used more around salt water and things like that. And they tend to be a lot slower. Mm-hmm. And these greens don't have the undulations, excuse me, that some of the other greens that PGA Tour players are used to having. So you do not have to be a great putter on this course. You have to be a good putter. You don't have to be great. It's really designed to punish you if you miss the landing areas. So you have to be a really good iron player. And as you know, or may not know, I don't know how much you guys looked into this. The field is kind of stacked.
Yeah, there's some good players there.
Well, Scotty's playing.
Scotty's playing. And
Finau, Colin Morikawa, I saw.
Yeah. Victor Hovland.
Yeah, I saw
Victor
that.
Hovland going for the three-peat.
Really?
Yeah, he's going for the three-peat.
Okay.
Kuchar's going to be there. Seamus Powers coming off the wind's going to be there. Justin Rose, Sepp Straka, Jason Day, Harris English, Brian Harman. Brian Harman's interesting because he does not do well here. So
Brian Harman is one of those sleepers that I would always bet on him when it's a really high situation, like a Players or Wells Fargo champion,
right.
Like something like that. I mean, even a major, he seems to really, really turn it on with those events. Like you always see him in the top 10 somewhere, and it's like, oh yeah, Brian Harman's there. Of course he is.
Yep. Fellow lefty. So I always look out for the lefties, see how they're doing, things like that. After last week, I moved back into first place with Seamus Powers' $1.1 million win, getting me at 2.9 and change. Tony drops to second place at 2.1 million with his pick of Charlie Hoffman, getting him about $42,000. Aaron stays in third place at 440,000. He took the Wesley Bryan flyer, and Wesley missed a cut, unfortunately.
Had to go for it. You never know.
Sure, absolutely. Jeff had Lucas Glover, who squeaked in and got him $14,170.
Oh,
nice.
14 grand, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, it's 14 grand
go.
I didn't have.
There you go.
So again, one win, one really good performance puts everybody back in a game. It's going to happen. There's a lot of golf left.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where we're really just trying to save all the good picks until it really matters. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I agree with you. You have to do that. It's a long season, so we'll see what happens. So picks for this week, Tony's got his pick in, and Tony is picking Tony. So Tony Finau is coming off the board early. So that's two big ones for Tony early, with Rory and Tony Finau coming off the board. I'm going with Billy Horschel this week. So what do you guys got?
I'm going to go with just a really out there pick. I feel like I'm going to go with Francesco Molinari this week.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Francesco.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So as the further we go in this, I'm not going to remember who I picked.
Oh, right? I got it. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, but like I'm going to go, okay, pick this call. No, you already picked them. All right, how about, no, you already picked them. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get it.
I'll get you guys a list so that we have a running total. And once the website's up, we'll keep it on there.
Okay, so have I picked Billy Horschel?
Give me 2 seconds.
I don't think I have.
I don't think you have, and we still have time. So I'll check after the show if we have time. I'll update it in the comments, and we'll go from there. So
yeah, that's who I'm going. Yep, that was my pick too.
Yeah, those are good picks. I think
awesome. Yeah, I think they are. So we'll see what happens. Horschel's not known for being a great putter. He is pretty decent tee to green though, and he can get hot with the putter. So we'll see.
It'd be cool to see Victor go back to back. You know,
I know.
I mean, I thought about
took a lot for me not to pick him.
Yeah, same. I think that he's better suited, at one of the other events later on in the year. So we'll see.
Yeah, especially as the money starts to stack up a little bit deeper. We do have some elevated events next year with $20 million prizes. So I do want to hold on to.
Man, that's going to be big time.
Or purses, not prizes, I should say. But I want to hold on to some of these bigger players for those elevated events and make sure I'm maximizing my efforts there. So,
if he's unsufferable now, Aaron, how's he going to be if he nails one of those?
You've never played games with him. You never played board games with him.
Yeah,
this is all, I mean, you have played your fair share of Magic with him. Yes, but you know exactly how it is. Exactly how it is.
I mean, I'm already thinking about what kind of, do we want to get a championship belt? Do we want to get a trophy?
I knew you would be.
Just a
traveling trophy.
A gold plated, like not a gold plated, but just like a bronze golf club or something,
So when we did our chicken wings contest, it started with just a rubber chicken, right? And the winner got a rubber chicken, but you had to add something. Like by the end of this thing, there were beads and T-shirts in this traveling trophy box. So, I mean, there are opportunities there.
Yeah, we have stuff to do. I mean, you could do what they do in fantasy football, right? Where the loser has to do something like play around in a dress or, do things.
Or go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, or you could do that and I could not do that.
Listen, in a scramble that we played with Brooks' dad, you have to dress up like put on a dress, whatever.
That's
it's
funny.
Very, very easy to swing, in a dress. Your arms are free. You don't have to worry about anything.
Nothing's bound up.
Nice cool breeze.
Kilts.
Great. Yeah.
We're all going to wear kilts.
There we go. I like it.
I'm sure
nobody wants to see that.
No, nobody does.
Nobody wants to see that. So it's a lot of fun. We'll have some fun with it. And as I start to lose and slip back towards you guys, you can roast me as much as you want as part of the fun. So
we plan on that.
Absolutely. So the LPGA is in Shiga, Japan for the Toto Japan Classic this week, which is the first of 3 tournaments for the ladies in November.
Yep.
They end with the CME Group Tour Championship, and it's a $7 million purse for them. So one of the largest purses on tour. And I think it's $2 million this week and $2 million next week for total purses. So they got some stuff happening, which is really nice to see. I believe I saw somewhere that they had like $22 or $23 million ladies this year with total earnings for the 2022 season, over $1 million. So that's pretty cool. So love to see that. Athaya Thitikul has reached number 1.
She's now on the list with Tiger and Annika, right? As one of the youngest to reach world number 1.
She number 1 in the world prior to her 20th birthday. She also joins Lydia Ko as the only 2 players in LPGA history to accomplish the feat.
That's awesome.
And she's only the second Thai to ever do it. So
right. Wow. Ko reached number 1 at 17 years old. Thitikul is 19, still in her rookie season.
Yep.
That's
still in her rookie
crazy.
Season.
Listen, I saw something the other day on Reddit that I was going to bring up where a bunch of Redditors were talking about the LPGA Tour and how crazy competitive it is right now. Like where the skill ceiling is so high for the ladies. That I mean, it's really anybody's game. Any tournament, anyone can win, and it's very competitive.
So it used to be Annika was your bar, by which everyone was measured for years on the LPGA. And with all due respect, Annika's an amazing golfer, so well deserved. But now it's like they're all incredibly good, and the grouping is so close. Those top 15 women golfers, at least I would say, are within just a little bit of each other on the talent scale. You know, any given week, any one of that group can win a tournament, and we've seen it this year. There've been a bunch of winners this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I love to see it. Minji Lee and Thidakul have a lot to play for as the season comes down. There's a couple 7-figure checks up for grabs, in addition to the CME Group Tour Championships record-setting $2 million winners check. $2 million for the ladies. So that's more than the PGA Tour winner got this week. They currently top the standings in the Aon Risk Reward Challenge, which awards them $1 million at the end, right? So I believe Scheffler won it for the PGA Tour. So
cool.
There's a lot going on here. Players take their best 2 scores from each Aon Risk Reward Challenge hole, with the winners having the best average score to par at the end of the regular season. There's only 2 events that remain before a winner will be decided. And since neither Lee or Thidakul will be competing at the Pelican LPGA Championship the week after this is their final event to make a move before the Tour Championship.
Right.
So we'll see. So right now, Lee currently holds the lead with a season-long average score to par of 0.912. So Thidakul is at 0.891.
That's
so
crazy. That's
their
average score to par
on the holes.
Right.
So like the tournaments that have a hole, and that hole is what their score is used to determine what the winners are. So it's pretty cool, I think, the way they do that. So if Lee records 2 birdies this week, her season-long average will move to 0.917. And then that means Thidakul would have to record an eagle and a birdie to tie her score. So possible, absolutely.
Doable.
Likely. Yeah, it could be. These ladies are pretty good. Pretty good. LIV Golf.
There was the
LIV
end
Golf
of their
is
season.
done.
For the year. It's done for the year.
Yeah. Did you
Their
guys see that?
season's over.
Did you guys see that GIF or video of what's his name?
No.
We talk about, I can't, for some reason I'm completely blanking. He's on Dustin Johnson's team, finishes dead last, still gets,
Pat Perez.
Pat Perez.
Yeah.
Him dancing and everything like that.
yeah.
People are roasting him online about that.
I think he deserves to get roasted, to be honest with you. He came out with a quote. He said, all the pushback, all the negative comments we've gotten, I don't care. I'm paid. I don't give a damn.
I mean, that's a pretty good summation of LIV Golf right there. I
mean, it is.
They get paid. There's no, and again, I mean, we talked about this insane amount now, but
and we're gonna talk about it some more too.
There's just no incentive for them to play well. I mean, there's nothing.
Well, DJ said he did not play as well or perform as well or end as well as he thought he would have done. The first thing that popped in my head again, and I'm not slamming people for going to LIV Golf. If you want to go. That kind of money, I would probably go too. Who was his competition? Of course, he thought he was going to do better. When the season started, okay, I'm going to play Brooks,
Patrick
Koepka,
Reed
and Bryson. Patrick Reed, Kevin Na. Are they really competition for?
Peak Brooks would have been, yes.
Peak Brooks, yes, but
Peak Brooks would have. But he's
not there, and neither's Bryson.
Right.
So yeah, of course I would have thought if I was DJ, I should have done better. So he walked away with like almost $35 million. We'll get into that too, but damn, how much is enough? At what point does golf price itself out of what we're interested in anymore?
That's a good question, because I always thought about that about football and baseball too, and the contracts keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So is there a limit? I mean, I'm sure there is somewhere, but it's going to be what the market can bear. That's always the price, right? The price is always what the market can bear. So as long as, for football's case, they keep selling out stadiums and selling outrageous hot dogs, beers, and ticket prices for what they're selling them to pay these crazy contracts, they're going to use that model anywhere they can.
Right.
Yeah, basically, Pat Perez rode the coattails of Johnson, Patrick Reed, and Taylor Gooch on team victories to get him to, like, I think he was around $8 million.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd be dancing on stage too and popping champagne because I didn't have to work all that hard. And he didn't show up. Look at the results. The results aren't there. He claims he showed up on the end of the last day or at the last event.
Yeah,
and
to get
shot
his paycheck.
200, but did he show up? Come on, man.
And that's, I mean, that's what I've been seeing online. I've been just kind of looking into LIV and kind of what people think about it. And the main thing is people are bored. Like there's no competition there. There's no really inherent drive for these players to perform well because they're going to get those massive paydays. Right. The only thing that I saw that could be, taken away as a positive is that you watch more golf when you watch a LIV event because you're not getting ads and commercials all the time like you do on PGA. I mean, we've complained about the amount of commercials when we're watching a PGA event. It's constant, but with LIV, they're on YouTube. They don't have ad breaks. It's shot after shot after shot. And that's really the only thing that they have right now is that they give you more golf.
I mean, I live for that 3 hours of uninterrupted coverage or whatever they do on the last day of the Masters or whatever, where there's no commercials and it's like, oh, just pump that golf straight into my vein. That's what I want.
Gush. I mean, and we'll continue to gush about how great the Masters app is because even you can watch it on your TV and then, there's an ad. Great. I'm going to pull it up on my phone and I won't have an ad on this. Right. I mean, it's great.
I had a TV and 2 computers up watching 3 different feeds from the Masters on Thursday and Friday last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was awesome.
And I work from home. Awesome. I'm going to set up I have another monitor sitting here. I'll have it set up and I'll have 3 monitors with the Masters on.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah. So DJ with his supposedly $125 million signing bonus, right? Or sign on. So if you take that in consideration, split that over 4 years, he pocketed around $68.5 million this year. So he made $75 million in 15 years on the PGA Tour.
Whew.
I'd be happy too, wouldn't you?
I mean,
yeah.
He took 1 year to double his lifetime earnings. Yeah.
Especially if you can play in all the big events. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do it? I wouldn't. Again, the argument for not doing it is, what are you playing for? And people don't give it. There's a lot of people that don't give a shit about the history on the PGA Tour. They're tired of it. It's rerun. It's just old news. They want something new and exciting. But this is what I want to know. What are the actual numbers for viewership on YouTube? What are the real ones? Not the ones that LIV is reporting, not the ones that the people that don't like LIV are reporting. What are the real numbers? Who watched it? How many were there? How many people paid for tickets to LIV events? Because I'll tell you this. I don't care what event I'm going to. If there are pro golfers there and I get in for free, I'm going to have a ball.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to talk. Yes, this was awesome. This was the best event ever because I didn't pay shit for it. And I got to drink beer and there was music and it was fun. It was a great atmosphere.
Right.
And the winner got $4.5 million for 3 days worth of work against half the field that wouldn't compete on a PGA Tour event.
Right.
Is it half that?
You may gush about that, but I mean, are you going to talk about the free LIV tour that you went to 20 years down the road? The amount that you talk about going to Brookline, Massachusetts and watching that
1999,
I mean,
Brookline Sunday
on the PGA Tour.
I'll never forget it.
If you go to an event like that, you know that you could be witnessing history or a really dramatic storyline unfold. I mean, there's drama, there's romance surrounding the PGA Tour. I mean, that's what makes it so special. It's like any great sport. Baseball's the same way. They have all that history there. That's why people love it.
It feels like the sport, the story of the golf or baseball stretches out behind you, but you can also see it stretching out ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Like when I saw Tiger Woods as a young Tiger Woods at the Memorial back in, I don't even remember when this was. This is a long time ago. You could see the future of golf walking around that golf course with that guy. I mean, it's just stunning to watch him play.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, we have one of my buddies is listening to the podcast. I don't know if he's referencing this or not, but he says before you know it, it'll be a bunch of guys dressed like Borat on the beach because there's just nothing for them to do.
Well, they keep touting this. The team concept is the concept that LIV is going to sell. This is what the future is based on. There's merchandising around it. One player is going to potentially own 25% of the team while LIV retains 75% ownership. So is that divisive, right? Does that split the team going, well, how the hell do you get the team, but why don't I get the team?
Right.
There's already been turnover. So is it Taylor Gooch is now off of the Four Aces and Peter Uihlein is joining them.
Well,
so
I mean, that guy with the 25%, I hope to God he asked for the rights to name the team because, wow.
Right.
Name another team besides the Four Aces. I can name the Niblets.
I don't know. Like you said that, and I had no reaction to that news. Like I just don't care. I mean, that's the thing. It just doesn't interest me.
And here's the thing, right? Like you say, team merchandise, and I think, all right, I'll look at my closet. I'm like, oh yeah, I have a problem with the Blue Jackets because I got a bunch of their sweaters, and I got a Golden Knights sweater because they went to the Stanley Cup the first season of existence, and you get a Rick Nash sweater as a Ranger, and and I'm like, Four Aces polo shirt. I don't know, what do you do with that? I don't even know what that is.
You wear it on the golf course and support your team. Come on, man.
No, you wear those sweaters to arenas and get in fights. I mean, support your team.
I haven't seen anyone wear any LIV Golf merch. I mean, I haven't seen a single
other than LIV golfers.
Yeah,
I know, right? Well, at least they'll be able to wear shorts in their LIV Golf merchandise. So.
Right.
Yeah. One of the advantages that the players have talked about a lot is being able to form really tight friendships and they get to hang out together all the time, or 12 times a year, or whatever it's going to be, 14 times a year.
Because nobody will golf with them. Nobody else will golf with them. Is that too soon?
No, well, they're already talking about Ryder Cup having, they're banned, but they're not really banned, and we might be able to pick them. So, and I don't have a problem with that. I want them to see the best players.
Yeah,
right?
same.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see DJ play, and I mean, the last Ryder Cup was awesome. I want to see that team.
It was.
From our perspective,
of course,
great.
Of course,
from Europe's perspective, it was not so.
I want to see that
we
happen
still owe them a
every
couple.
year. Yeah, we definitely owe them a couple.
We do. So, yeah, they're hoping that the team and I will agree with this. I didn't watch any of it. It's just I had too much going on. I would have liked to have watched it. I like the fact that you can have teams play against teams where there's a 4-ball, a best ball, or an alternate shot, or and the captains are going to go head to head. I like that. I think that's cool. I would not mind seeing the PGA develop something around that somehow. I think that it has to be more thought put into it than, well, this is what I see LIV doing. Okay, we're going to have everything's going to happen. We signed some people. We're going to go. Perfect. Do this. All right, now do that. Okay, we got to pick up names. And we got to pick teams. So let's have this staged event where they sit around and go, the Niblets are going to be blah, 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 blah. It was all bullshit and contrived to me. It didn't feel like something I wanted to be a part of because it was kind of dumb to be honest with you. So
yeah.
And that name especially, I understand why you remember it, and I understand that it was an early golf club, one of the first golf clubs.
Yeah.
If I'd got picked for that team, I'd have been like, no.
I want to be on the Crushers.
Yeah, the Crushers.
The teams remind me of, again, like you're just out in the schoolyard playing. You're gonna go play kickball, and you pick. All right, what's our team name? We're the Lightning. Yeah. Let's go. We're the Lightning and the Mongooses. Yes.
I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but what happened was Pat Perez got picked last, and his team accidentally won. So I mean, hey, you're that kid, right? Yeah. I was that kid occasionally. I was.
My problem with Pat Perez right now is, to me, it's coming across like golf owes him this because he put in so much time here. He was $1 million a year man on the PGA Tour for the most part, and he had a couple years with more than that. He had a $4 million a year. He had a couple under. For the most part, he was $1 million+ a year man. That's not a bad living. That's pretty good. Now I'm tired. I don't have to struggle every week to make the cut and keep my card, and I'm just going to show up and be as relaxed as possible, wear my shorts, and finish somewhere in the bottom third of the tees every month, every week rather, and that's it.
Right.
He's the one, to me, this is the prime reason why LIV doesn't work.
Right, and it doesn't seem sustainable. Like, what is LIV going to do with these players who are clearly just there to show up, and they're not doing really anything to drive people to watch it? Are they going to continue to allow them to play on their tour?
Well, and that's part of the PGA draw, I think, is that you get a lot of quality players on the course. Now, this past tournament, right? All right, Scotty Scheffler's of the world weren't there. You didn't have a lot of big names, but you still ended up with this field that was 19, 18, 17, 16 under, driving these scores, right? And you got Phil Mickelson out there. What's his LIV average been? 7 over, 5 over?
Has not been good. So,
I mean,
and he's looking forward to the time off, and he's looking forward to getting back in shape, and he's looking forward to coming out better next year.
Well, okay.
We got a comment on the live stream that says, I'd be all for LIV if they made the caddies randomly play around.
Ooh, I love it.
That would be great.
That would be great. And it
LIV
counts
is
towards the team
expanding.
score. It counts towards the team score.
They're expanding to 60 players next year. That doesn't mean 60 players are going to play. It's not it. They're going to allow people to substitute in and out things. So you could.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and there's talk about 2 top 10 players going over. I don't know. We all said they're not going to get anybody of substance, right? And then they land DJ, they land Cam. Cam was, oh my God, right? Still a shock to me. But Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay are on that list right now of these are 2 players that are rumored to be going to LIV.
Right.
They're both in the top 10. Cantlay's number 4. Schauffele's number 7, I think, right now, something like that. And look real quick, Schauffele is 6.
It's
4
just
and 6.
They must know something that we don't about LIV. Like there has to be something else there other than the money for them, because I feel like those 2 players are people who want more or have expressed that they want and that they can do more on the PGA Tour.
If they're not banned from the majors, they can still do more. They just have to qualify for them, right?
I mean, at this point, when you've got the right exemptions, right? So like you said, Aaron, 5-year exemptions in the majors for a Masters win. There's a way to get lifetime. Like, don't you get a lifetime exemption from the Masters itself for winning?
If you win,
so you're in the Masters as a lifetime exemption.
And the Open too, it's until you're like 62 or something like that.
Yeah. Something.
So I mean, if
Cam
you win,
Smith's good forever.
Right. If you win one or both of those, I mean, you could argue that those are the big hitters, and they can go on to do 4 or 5 Pete Masters or 4 or 5 Pete Open if they can, manage it. Obviously, there's a bit to be done there. Many a slip twixt a cup and a lip, as they say.
Right. The problem comes later. So let's say for DJ, for example, right, he can always play in the Masters, but if he doesn't stay within 100 and like the top 115 in the world, he's not going to be exempt for those other majors. So if LIV Golf doesn't get those ranking points, at some point, the best players in the world aren't going to have access to those unless they win a major,
Right. And I honestly, I think LIV should qualify for OWGR points. I really do. I don't think they should qualify for a full point, right? If you're going to, it's got to be prorated based on you're only playing 54 holes, so you get a tick mark there. It's a invitational event. It's only certain players can go, and you're doing other weird stuff, so you can't get a full point. Is it a half a point? Is it a third of a point? Is it a quarter of a point? I think they should get something, but what is it?
Yeah, you pick a number and plug it into a spreadsheet, right? And if it's 0.3786433 repeating, then that's the weighting, and away you go. Somebody with all the stats in their head can figure that out. But I agree. But I definitely think it has to be prorated. So
Right.
Yeah. So somebody, who was it? It was DeChambeau, I believe, that said it's golf but louder.
I mean,
So
Bryson is part of the long drive, so I don't know how anything can be louder than that.
Well, I think I saw loudest at the Waste Management last year when the Ace was to be had on the 16th. I think that was as loud as a golf event.
And that's an elevated event this year. So you're going to see the best of the best. That hole. You think they'll allow them to do that again next year?
I think
so they're not going to
shtick.
They're not going to slow that down. So that's been the thing at the Waste Management. And so honestly, my wife's been to that tournament a couple times. And because my stepsister, Jenny, hey, how you doing? She lives there. And the whole place is kind of it's humming there. Like it's a happening event.
That'd be fun to go to.
Yeah, there's decorum, right? So decorum on the 16th, no, sir. And I think there'd be a rebellion if you told the fans not to do that.
Oh yeah.
And I think the golfers like it.
Oh, for sure. You can tell that they love that energy.
Yeah.
So this is what I got out of that whole thing. We have a place to stay.
That's correct.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
That's an event that I'd love to go to. At some point, I think we should go there.
I'm pretty sure that's a public course too, so we could play it.
That's a TPC course.
Yeah.
Or wait, no,
right.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So LIV's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future, right?
No, but
too much money.
Not.
So something I saw online, again, people talking about it, is how long can they go like this? And how long is, if it stays this way, 10 years? Do you think they have 10 years of money?
Well, so yeah, I'd say they do at least. So what we spent, let's say they spent $500 million this year, $500 million getting it, probably more than that, but getting everything done right. I don't know what their fund is, but I would venture it's in the multiple tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right.
If I remember correctly, it was like $565 billion. Something like that.
Yeah. So really, year one probably went over budget, but that's okay.
That is okay. Got to spend money to make money.
Right. So, I mean, that's the thought.
Hey, no TV contract still hurts them. They're saying that for sure they will have a TV contract next year. That's all well and good with events outside of the United States in a different time zones that are going to be held, when we're
unless
sleeping.
They're going to broadcast them
late,
like at different times, or tape them,
Tape delay.
Yeah. Go ahead and tape everything that's tape delayed. If I'm interested in it, I'm looking it up and finding out what happened.
Absolutely.
Right. And then they have to also compete with PGA Tour. So it's not like they're going to be able to broadcast their tournaments like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if they do, I mean, they're just going to go up against the PGA every week.
Right. And the PGA Tour has a $700 million TV contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
LIV doesn't. So that it does hurt them. You have to consider that. Really, one of the best quotes I heard or saw, I didn't hear this one, I read it, was from Josh Sens, who's a golf writer. Enriching players is not the same as rewarding fans.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What I understand the allure of LIV to more casual or newer golf fans, right? Because you don't have to know that who won the Open Championship, the 100th Open Championship, who did this, who did that. You don't have to deal with any of that because it's not there. You can just go, enjoy it, have fun, listen to music, see somebody walking on stilts, twirling fire and do whatever. Because that's what's happening at LIV events.
Right.
PGA, it helps to know a little bit about the history, especially some of these events. You look at what we just talked about, the Waste Management. The history behind that event is pretty fascinating, how it started and then how they built up that stadium around 16 and how 16 started to be really raucous and rocking. And then they had the hole in one and everybody threw all their beer cans and cups on the. They don't have that in LIV. Where's that excitement on LIV?
Yeah, I mean, there's no good answer for that question. It's not there yet. It's the first year, and the first year of the Waste Management, they didn't have it either.
Right.
Right. But can it get there is really the question. Don't have an answer to that one, but that's got to be the goal.
It's really hard to compare. I mean, you're comparing LIV Golf, which has a year under its belt, to professional golf, which you can go back a couple hundred years, and look up history. And I mean, that's really what brought me in from not playing golf for a long time was the history, deep diving into it, because you can read for hours and hours and hours and hours about PGA.
Well, I'll tell you what, back in the late 1600s or late 1500s when golf started, I guarantee you the peasants in the field were not interested in ambling down to the links for a Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely not.
They were just trying to figure out where dinner was coming from. I mean, there was no popularity in the sport whatsoever compared to the environment we have today. So, everything changes.
My big question for everybody tonight is, do you care about LIV at all?
I mean, I care enough to kind of follow it so we can talk about it, but I'm not going to watch it.
I don't care enough to follow it, watch it. I couldn't tell you any of the results. I can tell you 2 team names because Mike keeps repeating them. That's the only way I know them.
Crushers 3.
I forgot about the other one then. And but I care about the impact that they're having on the rest of the golf world. That's what I care about them, right? So I want to keep an eye on what they're doing, what the results are, because they've already made waves, right? PGA's got elevated events next year. PGA is looking at better ways to return things to the players. PGA is looking at ways to integrate team events. I mean, so if they're having that impact, absolutely, I'm paying attention to them. Otherwise, I don't care what DJ does on any given event on the LIV tour.
Yeah, I care about it in part because of everything that the two of you have said. I care about it because I want to see DJ play and I want to see Cam play. And if Brooks gets healthy, he's a scary mofo, right? Especially when there's something on the line like a major there's nothing on the line in LIV. So can Bryson take his long drive golf and bring it to the course and absolutely decimate some of these inferior courses that they're playing?
Yeah, on the other side. Oh, go ahead.
No, good.
I was just going to say the other side of that coin is, can these guys all get healthy, start playing their best golf, and really make people want to watch them play? Because the caliber of play hasn't exactly been top notch.
Right, and that's the biggest thing. It's just not exciting golf to watch. Like, if Bryson was out there bombing it as hard as he could every single day, that would be a cool draw. But other than that,
if they were shooting 30 under on these courses, I'd want to see that.
Right.
I'd want to see that. So they're not. But name one of the events that where somebody went 19 under. I don't think anybody did. It was 12 under, the lowest, 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah. And part of the excitement of watching Rory or a Cam win the Open or win the Masters or do whatever they're doing is watching the competition, right? Mm-hmm. Cam was in danger all day at the Open. Rory was pushing him. There was a lot more going on there than Cam golfing. DJ wins at 7 under. The next closest guy's 4 strokes behind. We just got to watch DJ golf. That's all we got to watch.
And again,
nobody pushed him.
It just comes back to you're watching. It's like watching a great movie, but you get 4 days of just competition and drama, and you get to watch a storyline unfold. And who knows, the part of the reason why I love watching the majors, especially the Masters, is I could watch Rory complete the Grand Slam, and that would be absolutely incredible to see, being a part of that and having that, holy shit, like I just witnessed something incredible. And you don't get that with people who are just being rewarded for playing mediocrely, whatever the hell I'm trying to say.
They're rewarding mediocrity. Yeah,
yes.
So who won the first LIV event?
Yes, somebody did.
I'm gonna say DJ.
No, wasn't it Charles Schwartzel?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Charles Schwartzel.
It was.
Yes.
You got to remember that in 10 years?
No.
But I will remember talking about that guy that played forever on the PGA. I don't know his name, but like his career winnings on the PGA Tour, like 74,000, and his first event on LIV, he won
Andy
140.
Ogletree.
Andy Ogletree.
Yes.
Won
Andy!
$120,000 in his one and only event. I
Go,
believe he
Andy.
finished last.
He did finish dead last. Yeah, and it kicked the crap out of the rest of his PGA winnings. Like he tripled his winnings for pro golf.
So in 8 events, DJ won $35 million. 8 events. Brandon Grace. How relevant was Brandon Grace on the PGA Tour? 8 events, won $16 million.
Good. I mean, good for
Peter
him.
Uihlein, $12 million. Table for One won $12 million in 7 events.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I mean, it comes down to we're watching, except for, there are a handful of, I mean, we kind of on one hand the amount of exceptions to this, but you're just getting the mediocre PGA Tour players who weren't really doing much on the tour, were struggling, that now have this to do, and they can continue to play. I mean, better than us, obviously, like they're professional golfers, but they're not playing.
How
the best
relevant
golf.
was Chase Koepka on the PGA Tour?
Not at all.
He's number 20 on the LIV Golf money list. 8 events, $4.3 million, and a Ferrari or Lamborghini, whatever his brother
Chase was
promised.
struggling. I mean, he was
good,
playing.
yeah.
He was going to play other minor tours and stuff like that. I mean, he wasn't really doing anything on the PGA Tour. And I don't think, for some of these guys, I don't think that they would have still been on tour come, a couple years down the line. I'm sure they would probably had to try to earn it back.
Bryson DeChambeau finished 26th on the LIV money list at $3.5 million.
Yeah.
26th. How far would he have fallen on the PGA Tour? Because he did not play good golf.
He didn't, but he was also injured.
Yes. But he still played 7 events.
He did.
Charles Howell III, $2.9 million.
Haven't heard that name in a while. I mean,
Yep. Graham McDowell, $2.3 million, number 34. Kevin Na, number 35 on a LIV Golf money list. Would you be embarrassed if you were Kevin Na at being number 35 or 36 rather?
How much money
$1.9
did he
million?
make? No.
1.9.
I would be embarrassed all of $1.9 million worth. Had I been that embarrassed on the PGA Tour, it would be for $190,000, and that would be embarrassing.
Right.
Phil Mickelson, number 40 on the money list.
Yeah, Phil, poor Phil.
HV3, 5 events, $1.4 million.
I was sad to see that one go.
Me too.
I'll be
I feel
honest with you.
like he could have done some good stuff.
Absolutely.
One of the ones I respect because he came right out and said, yep, I'm taking the money because I can do so much good with this money on this foundation that I'm doing. And that he was straight out, came out and said it.
Right.
Yep, he did.
Love it.
Yep. So
love it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just meh. And that's kind of the overall emotion. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more and more down the line, but that's just the emotion that I get when anyone talks about LIV Golf. It's just meh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We'll see what next year brings. There's going to be relegation, so players can get booted off and sent to the minor league, so to speak. Other players can be offered to come over, and we'll see what happens with that. See if Cantley and Schauffele are real things, or if it's just somebody stirring a pot on Twitter or wherever they're stirring a pot.
Man, I'm looking at that top 10 OWGR now, and with those two off of it, I mean, we could see some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I love it. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we wrap up. The distance debate, the distance thing is starting to bubble up again. So apparently, if you didn't know this, the deadline for manufacturers and industry insiders and stakeholders to send the USGA and the R&A feedback, information, and research was September 2nd.
Yeah, I know we talked about this last year, that they were going to be trying to implement some actual changes to golf clubs and equipment.
Yeah, clubs and balls especially. So since 2003, golf balls have been tested using that Iron Byron, that robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do it with a test driver that's swung at 120 miles an hour. If the ball's combined carry distance and roll is 317 yards or less, with a 3-yard tolerance, it's deemed conforming and legal for play. They're going to change that.
I was going to say, what's the top swing speed on tour.
And it's more than 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, Tiger used to come in at 127 back in, at least 127.
Right.
So on March 26th, they USGA and RNA announced a few areas of interest. This is one of them. They're going to increase the club head speed to 125 miles an hour and create launch angle ranging between 7.5 and 15 degrees with backspin rates from 2,200 to 3,000 RPMs. So this is for golf balls. And they're looking at really 125 to 127 mile an hour club head speeds as well to see what the effect is on the balls. And they're also looking at the trampoline effect on drivers, 3 woods, 5 woods, things like that.
Yeah, because you got that big face.
I'm honestly surprised that there's no information about that already. Like, you would think that they would have been trying out faster club head speeds a while ago to kind of see where we're at with that.
Well, I'm sure they're definitely somebody somewhere's doing it. They're just not releasing information.
The companies are doing it, but not for testing release to the PGA or USGA.
Right. So. They're also testing tee height and different sizes and weights for golf balls as to the things.
Okay, so tee height, you can make a player conform to ball club standards and things like that, but you have to have your tee in at a certain height. A guy running out with a ruler, don't think that's going to happen.
Well, they might say you can only use 2-inch tees or whatever, because the lower you tee up the balls, it's not going to go as far. Sometimes you got to have that upsweep, right?
That's true.
It'll be interesting. And this is not the first time I've heard about ball size. There used to be Pinnacle used to make an oversized ball. So
yeah, Pinnacle did. I remember
that. Let's talk about our ball size. Sorry to everyone listening that was offended by that. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sure there's nobody offended by that.
Yeah, right. So those are some of the things that are happening. I think next year is going to be pretty big. Still, no information on Netflix, so I don't know when the special is coming out.
Come on, get some information.
Or what?
Next year.
That's your job. Research that. We need to know.
God, I know. I really want to see that. Other than that, that's all I got. What do you guys have to wrap us up?
No, that's really it. Nothing crazy. I think that with LIV ending, I think that we really had a lot to talk about there. So I think we did that.
Yep. Great weather this week if you're in our neck of the woods. So if you have an afternoon off, go out and play golf. You're not going to have any more of them like it.
No.
I got next Friday off.
Nice.
There you go.
Right. Hopefully the weather's good. So thanks for joining us again. If you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe and leave some comments. We'd really appreciate that.
Yep.
You can reach us at ampedgolf@gmail.com. Aaron will have all the links in the description below when we release the video tomorrow. The audio portion will be released later tonight on Spreaker and iHeartRadio and Spotify and Google Podcasts and pretty much everywhere you can get a podcast. So thanks for joining us. Hope if you get out there in golf, you hit them straight and you keep it out of the rough.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody. Have a great week.